But every single year, Andrew, as we've been doing this podcast, you've gotten bigger, you've gotten stronger, you've gotten more attractive. And that's got to be kind of cool for Stephanie, because she was with you like when you came. She was with you when you weren't focusing on all that. And now you're fucking like Zaddy Drew. And she's like, ooh, my man's getting even more attractive the older we get. Like, that's a cool fucking thing.
Yeah. She was with me before. Well, she knew me before I was even into fitness at all. And she was the reason why I got into it. But she was with me when I was, 6 feet tall, 160 pounds. So, and, we talk about skinny fat. Oh, skinny fat. But, the cool thing is, like, as I've gotten in better shape, she definitely has gotten in better shape. And the one thing that other couples fail at is like supporting each other, because usually one will start to get in shape and the other one's like not bought in, and then they kind of get a little bit like they feel resentment towards their mate, because they're like, well, fuck, why are you getting in such good shape? So not supporting your other half is like really, really bad.
Yeah, they want to like sabotage each other a little bit, right?
Yeah, instead of like, hey, let me get sexy for you as well. Since you're doing it, let's do it together. To do it together.
I think it's important that you, another thing that could kind of derail your sex life, if you're someone that's married or you have kids, is just not making enough time for each other, not getting enough time together. There's like sometimes you'll have time together, but it's like kind of interrupted time, or it's time where you have to like do work together, like dishes or take out the garbage, or I don't know, like just like chores. You need to like, you don't necessarily need to go out to eat or anything like that, but you need to like spend some time together. My wife and I will occasionally just have wine and we'll just sit at the table and just like talk, sometimes when the weather's nicer, we'll just go outside and we'll kind of hang out there, and it's just her and I. We don't have our phones. Our kids are home, but our kids are older, so they don't care. They're not like, they're not crying or screaming or anything crazy like that. So, but yeah, just finding good time to each other. And again, if you're trying to, spice it up a little bit, maybe you stop off somewhere on your way home from work and you pick up a good meal for both of you. You call ahead, you call your favorite restaurant, and you pick up 2 of whatever the hell it is that you guys both like. And on your way home, you say, "Hey, I'm bringing home, dinner. We're going to have a date, get ready." And then maybe you can dress up for that even. It doesn't matter that you're home. Maybe you can put something nice on, and take a shower so you don't smell like shit.
We'll get to that, but that's something that we are actively working on. My son's going to be 2 this month. Holy shit, just realized that. So the toddler running around, there's not a lot of us time at all, but we actually mapped out, 2023, some of the goals that we have set. And on there is date night.
To get rid of your son.
At least two nights a month, right now, because we're going to figure it out to get rid of our son for 2 nights a month, at least just for a little bit, just for ourselves, because we recognize like, hey, yeah, we haven't been spending time with each other. And we both feel that, not that it feels like there's a disconnect or anything like that between us, but we feel there's maybe a disconnect, in that like romantic setting. Like we haven't had that in a very long time.
Yeah.
And so like that's something that we're going to work on this year.
Power Project fam, this episode is brought to you by Vivo Barefoot Shoes. We've been wearing these shoes for almost a year now. They're flexible. They have a wide toe box. They allow your feet to get connected to the ground, and they will make your feet stronger, and they don't look like shit like a lot of these other barefoot shoes. Andrew, how can they get them?
For the best barefoot shoes on the planet, and they also look really, really good, head over to vivobarefoot.com/powerproject. At checkout, enter promo code PowerProject20 to save 20% off. Again, vivobarefoot.com/powerproject, promo code PowerProject20 to save 20% off. Links to them down in the description, as well as the podcast show notes. Let's go ahead and get back to this podcast.
The cool thing about what both of you guys are saying is like, both you guys with your ladies, you guys are functioning as a team.
Yes.
Sometimes you'll see like whether it's just the woman who's really trying to work on this and the guy's not caring, or just the guy who's really trying to work on it and the woman's not caring. Like what's making this work and what reason why it has worked for you guys is because you guys look at your partnership as a partnership. Both of you and Andy and you and Stephanie are both getting better together. It's not one person on this trajectory and the other person is staying right here. So that's just a key concept that I learned from you guys with a lot of this stuff, because I'm in my relationship and I love this girl. So hopefully everything goes the way it should go. But these are very important things that both of you guys are saying.
I think another thing too is to make sure that you're really compatible with the person that you're with. So, you know, if you love to have sex every day and you feel like you literally need that every day, and the other person doesn't care about it that much, they're like maybe like more like a once a week kind of thing, that might not work great. Like these are all things that you got to kind of like work through and think about, like, because that matters a lot. And I've heard more people talk about it more recently. Like, there's people that are kind of sensitive to the fact that like it really matters for men. Like we're hardwired this way. This is what we're working with. You know, we have testosterone levels that are high, and it just kind of controls the ship a little bit. Not that we're not in control of our actions, but we want to fuck, you know, pretty often, or at least a lot of men do, right? And so, and there's probably a lot of women. So anyway, the main point there is just to make sure that you kind of line up at least a little bit with sex.
And one thing that I think would be pretty interesting though, along with that, is as a guy, sex is like always on our minds. Like, sex is always on our minds. But if you're not a guy who's active, like, and you're not a person who's utilizing energy, like sex in itself is an energetic act. Like it takes energy. But if you're not doing shit, like if you're not going out working out, like you do jujitsu, you run, we all lift, we still have a good sex drive. But there are some guys who, let's say you're not doing anything and you're like, I want sex all the time. Dog, go fucking work out. Go use your body a bit. And you'll understand, like, yeah, you still want to have sex, but it's not something that is like your primary mode of being and you're not getting it every single day. So now you're angry. There are some people who are like that, but I mean, use your body more, because then it might even out that libido of yours. Or that what you think is your libido might just be you not using your body as much as you should be.
I agree.
Yeah, and it could be
energy.
Yeah, and then if you have the opposite of like a low libido, like if the urges aren't there within the couple, it could be because you're just not as healthy as you should be. Because a pretty good marker of health, in my opinion, is like, your libido should be a little bit higher, and well, not higher. It should be high enough to where you do want to have sex with your mate. And if it's not, then maybe you might just be a little bit unhealthy. You know what I mean? Like there's something a little bit off to where your body's like, hey, you got to address this before we even start getting horny over here. Like, you know what I mean?
Sleep, we talk about that all the time, but we're not going to get deep into that
now.
But
we got tons of podcasts on sleep, so just search sleep on the channel.
Yeah.
I think, you know, I think a big thing is to figure out ways to stay attractive to your significant other. So, keeping yourself physically fit is obviously a big part of it. Having like an even mind and being able to withstand some of the stressors of life, and being able to be someone who's strong, not just for yourself, but strong for your partner. You're somebody that you know you can, that they can relate to, they can communicate with, and you're not getting like all depressed and anxious and shit when someone gives you news, you know. These are all things that I think are kind of side things from like actual sex, but I think that you know, if you're slouchy and like when you hear bad news or you get news that you interpret as bad, that can, I don't know, that can just lead them to maybe not be as attracted to you as maybe they once were.
One thing to like maybe do a little bit of a deep dive on is just the idea of a bit of Stoic philosophy. Now, I hate to be that guy, but like it's not about not feeling anything or whatever, because we will feel everything, but it's also just purely not reacting to everything in a volatile way. You brought up anger, right? There are many things that I've talked about with my girl or even exes that have maybe brought up a bit of anger, but I'm not someone who acts on anger. I can feel it there, but then a conversation can happen, because it's no use of, showing how angry you are. That doesn't show strength. That actually shows quite a bit of weakness in most situations, being outwardly angry. So, I mean, who's that author who you love?
Which one? There's a couple.
The
one that was just here?
No. He wrote the book, The Daily Stoic. Ryan Holiday.
He was on a podcast.
Ryan Holiday.
On our podcast, I mean. Yeah.
Yeah. So he has multiple books on understanding that. But if you're a guy, it's not attractive to be emotionally volatile.
Yeah.
And it's not safe, as we've learned from Dana White and other people. It's not a good idea to be emotionally volatile and not have control over your emotions. Mm-hmm. The thing is, you can feel all those emotions. It's healthy to understand those emotions, because there are some people on the internet who are like, men cannot show emotion and all that shit. That's bullshit. It's okay to feel those things, but you do not always need to act based off of how you feel. I think that's one of the differences between most men and some women, is that when it comes to our emotions, we can feel them and we can maybe express them, but we need to be careful with how we express them. We can't yell and scream and do that's not the way we need to be operating. Mm-hmm. And that is more attractive to a woman than being the emotionally volatile man that maybe gets way too sad or way too anxious or way too angry. Gotta learn how to control that shit. Hey, baby. I'm joking. Guys, like, comment, subscribe, and head to the Power Project Discord, all right? I know you enjoyed the video. Speak to y'all soon.